Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 10, Episode 1. If you were new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted reality shows, and I also do reactions. If you're returning, one of my peoples, welcome back. I would like to say something before I get into this review. I do not take drinking and driving lightly at all. My younger cousin was taken from this world in 2008 because somebody decided to drink and drive. And this individual had his license revoked years ago, but he was still out here drinking and driving. Had been arrested multiple times, but was still out here drinking and driving. And because his mom and daddy had a little bit of money, he was able to get off. And now my younger cousin is no longer in this world. So drinking and driving, that is a no-no for me. I know people, they have addictions and things like that, but in this day and age, where we have Ubers, where we have Lyfts, where we have designated drivers, and in this case, Karen, you got money to where you can hire a driver so you can drink till your liver passes out. But you getting behind the driver's wheel while you're intoxicating is a no-no for me. It's been 2 days since Karen was sentenced to 7 months in jail for her DUI. Now, I was hoping we don't spend this whole entire season talking about Karen and her DUI. I'll give you an episode, maybe two, but after that, we're going to have to focus on our lives. But I have a feeling that Giselle is going to use this opportunity to not talk about herself yet again and talk about Karen. So, Giselle, she's hosting this Let's Discuss Karen Being in Jail sit down. And the ladies have questions. Is she in Gen Pop? Is she, is there a space specifically for the older women? Is she in there with people who have taken people's lives? They have questions like that. Now, I am an avid Locked Up watcher. I don't know what it is about watching Locked Up, but Locked Up was one of the shows that I had watched. So it seemed like everybody was meshed together. And like if you have unalived somebody or you are on unalive roll, you separate. But like I think they kind of all in one mix. I don't know where Karen is on this situation. I just hope that this is a reality check and she can get her alcohol problems under control. I did not watch last season, but it's seeming like it has come out since Karen got arrested for driving while she was drunk. That her being drunk was like well known to the ladies and the crew and maybe everybody in Potomac that Karen liked to have her a drink all the time. And she has been caught out here several times, drunk, slurring of the words. They are concerned about her. And Wendy, even though she found out that Karen wasn't really her friend like that for real, she don't want to see her in that situation. I feel that this should be a wake-up call to her, that you need to get your drinking under control and don't be out here driving while you drunk. It's like you could have taken yourself out and saved somebody else out with your drinking problem. So hopefully she can get herself together, and this is a reality check for her. She can actually go into rehab facility on her own, not court mandated, and really take the steps that she needs to get her alcoholism under control. Now that the ladies have talked about Karen just a little bit, now we got some questioning for Stacey and whether she paid TJ or not to be her boyfriend last year. And it's seeming like that, but I'm like, girl, you chose him to be your boyfriend. And you have allegedly paid this man to be your boyfriend. Now, even though I did not review last season, I did watch last season, and at no point or time did it seem like they was boyfriend and girlfriend. They barely seemed like they were acquaintances. It's like there was no chemistry whatsoever. And not even just a romantic chemistry. It wasn't no chemistry like we friends and like we enjoy being around each other. He seemed very annoyed with her very presence. And I'm like, maybe you, if this is true and you have paid TJ, maybe you should have like auditioned. Not saying that you should, but if you were going to do this, make sure you audition a person that's not going to come back and, hey, you maybe we do a NDA next time. I don't know. Not saying you should, but I pause. I have a tendency, even though something is wrong, and I'm not condoning it. I'm like, but if you gonna do that, then why didn't you do it like this? I find myself in that situation all the time. I think don't be out here written boyfriends just for a storyline. But since you did do that, maybe you should have like auditioned a better choice. I'm just saying. So, did y'all know TJ at the reunion he did not show up, but he did FaceTime Eddie to let him know that I am not gonna be there, and she paid me to be her boyfriend. So now the ladies were questioning her. And since Stacey cannot take the heat, she got up at the kitchen and left. But Giselle and Ashley, they were not going to stop this. We need to find out what's going on with Stacey and her allegedly hiring TJ to be her boyfriend, because they was in LA. Some actress friend of TJ's showed them receipts that he is suing her and that she agreed to give half of her Potomac check to him. And I'm sitting here like, this lady just had this information on ready? Or did she like, hey TJ, I'm here with Giselle and Ashley from Real Housewives of Potomac, and they want the receipts that you were suing Stacey for, and she said she was gonna give you half of her check. Like, you never know with Giselle and Ashley, because they like to put sauce on things and embellish the truth. So we really don't know if this is true, but the way Stacey is acting, it's seeming like this is true. Stacey and her ex-husband are back together, and he's agreeing to film. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's seeming like last season we got a blurred image of him. Like, we not showing his identity, and I don't even remember if they said what this man's name was. That's how secretive their situation was going on. But now he's filming. I guess because they're in a relationship now. I guess when we going through a divorce, what I need to be filming with you for? Like, that's your thing, and I ain't got nothing to do with it. So apparently, while they was on vacation with their daughters, those old feelings came back. Mind you, she had just broken up with TJ, and they loved each other. Yeah, but anyways, while they were on vacation and rekindling, that's the word I'm looking for, their romance, their divorce was finalized. I'm just wondering how that's going to work. But they have decided they're not going to tell Arabella because it's going to be confusing to her. Like, I imagine so. Because we're in the story last season, they didn't tell her that they were getting the divorce. And you know how things go. Kids at school get to talking like, your mom and daddy getting a divorce. And that's how you find out. But like, it's now on... we not going to tell her that we're back together because we had divorced and we just don't want to confuse things. But she gonna see this on the show, I guess. It is seeming that Kiarna and Greg have broken up. She has moved out of the house. But it seems like they trying to get back together. I don't know. It's like, she's like, I don't like the way you treat me. I don't like the way the progression of this relationship is going on. Even though we was buying this house together, which I didn't think was a good idea. But I'm not here to judge people on how they live their lives. So I guess Greg realized after she was gone 2 months that, like, she was really serious about, like, them breaking up. So he was like, hey, would you like to go to Jamaica with me? And she was like, sure, I would let her go to Jamaica with you. I didn't like the way he was acting towards her and treating her. And it was seeming like she was putting... even though she said her business, runs like that, she doesn't really need to be there. Her staff were on point. It was seeming like she was putting all efforts on his business, promoting his business, and doing this for his business. And I just didn't like... I didn't like the way he came off. And maybe he just didn't want to film. that's okay if you don't want to film. Don't film, but then don't turn around and get on here and be acting a butt and just be treating this girl in your type of way. And her mom was like, I didn't like the person you were in, the person you were while you was in that relationship with Greg. You were not you. You were a shell of you. And her mama didn't like that. I didn't like that either. So hopefully, like, if they do words, y'all, words. If they do decide to get back together, maybe she can be like, these are some boundaries that, set some boundaries. Like, these are some things I will and will not accept from our relationship if we were to move forward. Wendy and Eddie are dealing with a preteen who is at that stage in life where I don't really care about y'all business. I'm all about, hanging with my friends and that nature. Y'all, I do not have kids, but I have two nephews. And my oldest nephew turned 18 back in March, and I'm still trying to deal with that. And my youngest nephew was 16 years old. When they were younger, they were the sweetest. Always wanted me around, always sitting up under me. My youngest nephew, I spent 5 hours, y'all, 5 watching Wreck-It Ralph. He would get to a specific part of the movie when we got 10 minutes left to start all over, and insisted that I sit there while he did that. My oldest nephew, sweet as can be when he was younger. But once they got into that age of like 11, 12, it's no longer cool to hang out with Auntie no more. This name that I have called him since he was a baby and could not walk or anything, couldn't barely crawl. I named him this name, and now he no longer wants to go by that name. And it was heartbreaking. So I understand. Y'all, sorry I had to rant. I'm in my emotions. I'm not ready. Like, 18 years old. Like, how are you 18 years old? How? You were just a baby. You were just on my hip as a baby. And now you were 18 years old. Y'all had to get that right now. So that's where Wendy and Eddie are. It sounds like, really, I don't care. I'm on my phone right now, so I don't, y'all got something going on, but I don't really care. But Happy Eddie is expanding into a third state. I'm like, okay, good. See, this is what I want from these housewives. You get on the show, and even though I don't know if this is just Eddie's business or was this Eddie and Wendy's business together. Like, granted, they are married, so be like, she gets the benefits of that as well. But get on these shows, start businesses, make money, promote on this show, and do something. Don't just be on this show and not doing anything at all. I need to get on this show and get businesses going so people are out seeing you and growing your business. Okay. But apparently Happy Eddie is doing so well that the people are like, hey, maybe we want to get into this business as well. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, hey, Wendy, you can't get mad because Stacey wants to be getting into the cannabis business as well because, you and Karen had candle businesses. Now, from what I remember, Wendy wanted to start a candle business. Like, she wanted to have like a home decor, but she was starting off with candles. And she told this to Karen. Karen listened. Few episodes later, Karen was like, hey, I have a candle business. So it wasn't like Karen had this candle business, told everybody about this candle business, and then Wendy came along like, hey, I'm starting a candle business. It's just that Karen never told Wendy that she had already started one herself. She just listened and then sprung it on Wendy like, hey, look, what I'm actually doing that too. But it would have been, to me, it would have been better if you'd been like, oh my goodness, like, I've already started my candle business, I'm doing A, B, C, and D. So I know some people are going to compare, like, you can't hold monopoly on this business, yada, yada, yada. It's not that. It's like, this is two different things. I just think it's funny that Ashley has all these questions about Stacy's relationship with TJ when she didn't want to hear nothing what anybody had to say about what she had going on with Michael and all the things that he was doing. But anyway, Ashley, she's throwing some kind of event and she invites Stacy, hey, let's go look at some dresses together. Okay, cool. But while there, she's like, I was in LA and this lady provided some receipts that proved that you and TJ's relationship wasn't but a business transaction. You paid this man to be your boyfriend on this show. Stacy, I can give it to her. She is sticking to her story. Like, we was together. I don't know what to say. I have forgiven TJ, and she's just trying to move on. And I find it funny that Ashley said, and I wrote it down, so my notes is on my screen right here. Ashley saying that somebody who can stick to a lie even though all the evidence proves otherwise, that's a scary person. And I'm like, that is very, very rich coming from Ashley. Because did we forget all the mess that you and Giselle did with Candace and Chris like a few seasons ago, along with your friend Deborah lying? How your friend Deborah got on the screen talking about some Chris was up there flirting with her. And your whole gang of friends went over there and circled Chris like he was a shark while we was at this event for Karen. Chris over there on his phone minding his business. And I'm pretty sure that Ashley's like, this is the time. Sent all her friends over there to talk to Chris to try to get some mess going. Because we over here we adding lies into this mixture. But you like, this is a scary person. Your best good homegirl Giselle took an innocent situation and flipped it and tried to put it out that Chris was some monster out here. And then you added on to that like, well, yeah, he was up there DMing me and this, that, and the third, which, I still feel some type of way that Chris was nice to these girls, especially Ashley and Giselle, even though the way they treated Candace, but that's another story. Try to make it seem like Chris was over here trying to get with you. And then Deborah, she jumping in, talking about something, yeah, this, that, and that. I just thought it was real funny that you can sit there and like, somebody who can do that, that's really scary. Now, y'all, I looked down for a minute and I looked up and I thought I saw Karen. I'm like, when did Karen get a confessional? What is going on? Now, y'all, I am almost certain that Karen has had that same outfit and that same wig on that Ashley got on in her confessional. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know if my mind just went together and tried to put these pieces together, make it make sense. But doggone it, when I tell you, I looked down I was doing my notes and I looked up and I thought I saw Karen. Now I know I'm not the only person that saw that confessional of Ashley and thought it was Karen for just 2.2 seconds. I know I'm not the only one. Kiana's friend Angel, she is the new housewife. They've known each other since they was 18 years old. They used to do business together. She is that girl. She and her husband, they are back in Maryland. They used to live in Colorado when he plays for, I want to say, the Denver Broncos? Could be right. He played in the NFL. He is now retired, and they have moved back to Potomac. Angel and Kiana, they go walking through this trail. Now, if you've seen some of my shows, when anything nature got going on, y'all know my opinion and my feelings. I don't do nature, especially these little trails that cut off to look like it goes into like some spookiness. I don't do those type of things. I was just getting, when something's, my right shoulder, I get to grab it at it when like I'm uncomfortable in situations, and being in that that area where it look like it's a walking trail. Could be innocent, but it just looked creepy. That murky water over there just looked like danger zones to me. Like, when I see things like that, my first thought was, somebody could have somebody back there and jump out and get you. There was a trail that was not too far from the house I used to live at. And it, like, Main Street right here, and, like, the trail goes this way, and it's off into woodedness. I don't do that, but they have a outdoor luxury experience that they had in Colorado, and they're doing that here, where you ride horses, you out with nature. This calms her. That doggone it just no. My mind always goes elsewhere. I would never want to go camping because I don't want to sleep on the ground in a sleeping bag, and I have an irrational fear. I guess it's not irrational that if I would to go camping, that while I'm sleeping in the middle of the night, everybody's just gonna up and leave me, whether it's intentional or not. But yeah, this is the things that calms her. But like the woods, the outdoor, the bugs, that's just something I don't do. But apparently a lot of people like. So Ashley is having her second bloom ball. And we were all wondering when was the first one. Well, she lets us know. That was being married. That was being a mama. So this is her second bloom. Now y'all, I am all here for a dramatic entrance. Love it. But when I tell you I was nervous for Ashley because her dress, the bottom part I liked it. It was very dramatic and flowy, but it was a lot of fabric. And then she was walking downstairs, and then somebody decided, hey, you know what would make this even better? Put some sprinklers. Not sprinklers, it's called sparklers. I guess this is supposed to be the sparkles. On both sides as she's coming down the stairs. I'm sitting there, and somebody else said it, and I can't remember who it was, like, this seems like a fire hazard. And I'm like, yes, it does. And I think Wendy was like, so you just gonna stand there? She's like, yes, so you can take on the look. I'm like, no, you standing there because you scared this fabric was gonna go woof. That's where my mind was going on. Like, yes, I'm here for the dramatics, but this looks like it's very, very, very unsafe. So it seemed like Kieran has an issue with being slighted by Wendy. And I hope this is not a whole season thing. But okay. So, when Wendy and Giselle are having a conversation, Kieran is feeling some type of way because Wendy is not acknowledging her. In my opinion, Wendy is having a conversation with Giselle about a certain topic, and maybe once that topic is no longer, she's gonna talk to you, or maybe that would have been rude. Maybe that would have been rude if you had jumped in. But it's like she's not ignoring you; she's just having a conversation with somebody else. And when Kiana goes to like explaining all the situations where she's felt slighted, and in my opinion, Wendy was justified in everything she said. Like, when Kiana's like, well, when I was doing this sponsoring thing, you didn't tell me you were going to be a speaker there. And Wendy was like, well, you were telling me something that you were excited about, and I didn't want to just jump in like, well, I'm going to be there speaking. Like, this is something about you. I didn't want to be out here taking the shine away from you. Well, when you see me at that event, you didn't say hi to me. And Wendy, again, for me, this is justifiable why she didn't acknowledge Kiana. Wendy was on stage speaking at the time when Kiana walked in. It wasn't like Wendy was sitting down, eating some food, looked up from eating her food, seen Kiana, and went back to eating her food. She was literally on stage, and Kiana was like, well, I would have said hi to my friend. So I'm guessing Kiana wanted Wendy to be like, hello, everyone. I am Wendy Osefo, and I am the owner of the 3-Wick Candle. I am also an author. I am a professor. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a daughter. We're going with a blush pink. Oh, that's my friend Kiana. Hey, Kiana, girl. Y'all wave. That's my friend Kiana. Yes, she got this spa business. Y'all go check her out. Hey, girl. Everybody wave at Kiana. Yes, we're going with the blush pink for our new color for our candles. Hey, Kiana, come on up here. Yeah, y'all welcome Kiana to the stage. That's my friend, y'all. Come, hey, girl, sit down. Yes, get her a mic so she can talk about her business while I'm doing my speech. I'm like, is that what you wanted Wendy to do? As she's speaking at an event, to wave at you? She's like, well, I would have gave my friend a head nod. I'm like, And here we come with the feelings. This is how Kiana feels. And y'all know how it is about feelings. You cannot tell somebody how they should and should not feel. This goes back to the situation with Giselle and Chris. Giselle felt uncomfortable being in a room with Chris. Still leaving it at that, she flipped it to him being inappropriate, him wanting to be a leak, sneaky leak. So this is like, when you can't tell nobody about their feelings, but then sometimes people can use their feelings and flip it to make it seem like you have done something wrong. Wendy feels Kiana is reading too much into these situations, and from what Kiana is not denying everything that Wendy is saying. It's just like, you're reading too much into this, but if this is how you feel, I'm going to only have to accept this is how you feel about it. But like, isn't that deep, baby? And I'm like, I agree. What I don't agree about is why it's actually all up in Stacey's business. You know how you couldn't stand there, doggo, with it? What's her name, Candace? Was always talking about you and your relationship with Michael. Yeah, now you're turning around, flipping it, and now you all up in Stacey's business, whether she's divorced or not, whether she was with CJ or not. Is that affecting your ability to care for your kids, run your businesses, manage your household? It's like, she seems like she's really angry about this, and I really do not know why. Maybe that's just me. Like, I just don't be caring that much. Like, I may be like, dang, why was you lying about that? But I'll be going on about my business. I'm not going to be like, getting my blood pressure up about your relationship. That's just something I'm not going to do. So, y'all, that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, a comment below. Remember to like this video, comment, subscribe, and share this with your people, and tell their people to come up and be one of our peoples. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.